microphone.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the May 2025 Town of Carmel Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. If you're here for the Centennial case, they have asked for a adjournment till next month. So I don't want to waste your time. You're welcome to enjoy the antics, and but if you're here for that case, we're going to have that held over. So the way we operate is I'll ask you to come up. We'll swear you in. You'll present your case to us. The board will ask you questions or have comments. And when that is done, we'll open it up to the public. Once we close a hearing, there is no further input from the public on any case, so please keep that in mind. The zoning board members are in front of you. Mike Carnazza, Code Enforcement Officer, is with us, as well as Town Council Greg Fulchetti. Will you all please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, if anybody in the public comes up, please write your name, address, and email and contact info on the paper on the podium. And I'll remind everyone, please speak clearly and distinctly into the microphones. It's being recorded for minutes. That's how our secretary gets the minutes from the recording of this evening's meeting. Failed to mention, you can watch this on, if you want to hear the case when we adjudicate afterwards, you can watch it on Channel 24 on Verizon and Channel 95 on Comcast. Otherwise, you can call. You can stick around for your judgment, or you can call the town tomorrow at the office to speak to. Is Dawn in tomorrow, Mike? Or no?
For a few minutes.
Okay.
Usually.
All right. So our first case tonight is a holdover, but as I mentioned, they're looking for an adjournment until next month. So I'll look for a motion.
Motion to hold it over?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and that's for Centennial. All right, new applications. Our first one this evening is from Michael and Jacqueline Lugo for a variation of section 156.35.5 B and C, seeking a variance to get a chicken coop and 8 chickens. Property is located at 134 Lakeview Drive, Mahopac, New York, tax map 76.30-1-54. So the code requires or allows 40,000 square feet. What's provided or existing is 10,650 square feet, and a variance required of 29,350 square feet. And then the maximum allowed is, per the code, is 6 chickens. They're requesting 8 chickens, so a variance of 2 chickens is being sought. Good evening.
Good evening, Board.
You can state your name and address for the record.
Mike Lugo, 134 Lakeview Drive, Mahopac, New York.
You're going to have to switch the little guy, because I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand.
What's your name?
Cash.
Right.
We're going to swear him too.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, thank you. All right, bring us, Mike, what's the situation?
So we are deciding to get some chickens on our property. I know that the legal requirement, I believe, is an acre for 6 chickens. I believe I'm a little under a third of an acre. Just asking for permission to do so. I've spoken to several of my neighbors. They were pretty cool with the idea of getting chickens and having some eggs.
Well, of course, because you're going to share the eggs with them, right?
Of course.
And they're going to eat the ticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to eat the ticks, correct.
I was up there last month looking at the property. You're fully fenced in, so
Correct.
I feel that that's going to help with any noise and whatnot. Not that they're noisy creatures, it's the roosters that you always have to worry about.
Yes.
You did talk to all your neighbors. There's no property you can buy to bring into conformance, right? So you're landlocked there.
Yeah, there is
In fact,
not.
there's a parking lot behind you, right?
Correct. And that's why we put the fence up, for the safety of, obviously, him.
You talked to your neighbors, you said, so there's no issues. Board members, any questions?
Did you get a variance for the fence itself?
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yes,
So
so
you're
it
all
was.
square with that?
Yes, it was supposed to be a 4-foot fence. I came and got a variance, I want to say about 4 years ago, to get a 6-foot fence. I'm on a corner lot, so definitely want to just make it a little higher.
Yeah, because it's not on the application, so.
Yeah, I did
vaguely
about
remember.
4 years ago.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I remember that too.
that's it.
Nothing.
Here, you good?
Why are you requesting 8 chickens?
I know the limit is 6. Sometimes you tend to get a male, possibly, if you do get 6. I know 6 is the limit, so if I do get a male or 2, I have to get rid of them. So I'm hoping that out of the 8, at least I get minimum 6 females. So we'll see what happens.
All right, does anybody in the public wish to speak on this application?
No.
I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Mr. Chairman, just,
Second.
I don't know, if we were looking at the application, obviously, Mr. Lugo is a councilman, is a town board member, so that disclosure's just got to be made for the record, but they are allowed under our ethics code to appear on their own behalf with matters of personal or private nature before the boards. Okay?
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
That's it.
All right, that's Lugo. Application number 3 this evening on the agenda is for Brian McMillan, variation of section 15612, seeking a variance to retain a shed. The property is located at 27 Lakeview Road, Carmel, and is tax map 55.2-1-49. Good evening.
Good evening, Board.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Brian McMillan, 27 Lakeview Road, Carmel, New York.
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, thank you. So how long has the shed been there for?
27 years?
And you never knew you needed to get a variance and
No.
building permit? And
Well, at the time, I thought I'd called, and it was a misinterpretation on my point. Back in the day, I thought I called, I said, do I need a permit or a CO? I was told, you don't need a CO. I interpreted that to, don't need a permit. That was my fault, so
Let me
it's been
guess,
there.
it was the guy who sold you the shed?
No, I built my shed.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay. We hear that a lot. It's usually the pool guys and the shed guys and the fence guys. They don't tell you anything until it's too late. So your neighbors, you talked to them about it? No one's got any issues?
Never had an issue, no.
Sure
It
if
actually
they were.
works as a privacy barrier between myself and the neighbors' decks. So that way we can both sit on our decks and enjoy our time alone rather than communally.
All right, there's no property you can buy to bring it into conformance?
To buy? No.
All right, and if you had to move this, what kind of cost would you incur to?
I haven't investigated it. I'd imagine it'd probably be worth more than the cost of the shed.
Yeah, probably, right? What's the value of the shed, if you'd had to put a price
I have
tag?
no idea anymore. It cost me, I don't know, maybe $400 to build, and
Well,
that was 27 years ago.
27 years ago, it's a different story.
Yeah.
About $5,000.
Okay. $5,000 probably, right? Yeah, in today's terms.
It's a nice shed.
Yeah, it's in good shape. It's, I think this picture doesn't show, but if I remember from last month, it's pretty well screened.
Yeah, there's a solid fence in front between it and the street. There's a chain link fence between it and the neighbor, and there's some brush.
Okay. Julie, any questions?
No.
No.
Jill? Guys, you good down here?
No questions.
All right, is there any input from the public on this application? Okay, I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Jul- All right, Julie, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, application number 4 for AFC Urgent Care, UB Putnam LLC, for variation of section 156.42K, seeking a variance to allow signage in the window. The property is located at 1844-1936 Route 6, Carmel, New York, and is tax map 55.11-1-4. Code requires or allows window signage of 25%. What's being provided is 100%, so a variance is being sought of 75%. Good evening.
Hi.
Do me a favor, turn the mic down to your mouth so we can pick you
I'm
up.
a little short. Nicole Cotillo, I'm representing AFC Urgent Care, and we are 1874 Route 6.
All right, must be a typo on here.
Okay.
I don't think it's, most people know where it is.
That's the whole shopping center, is that?
Oh,
that's the
Putnam
whole shop.
Plaza.
It's
Yeah.
1844 through
Oh,
1936.
through, okay, so it's covering you for me.
Okay.
And that's your address, okay.
Are
Raise
you
your
an
right hand.
attorney? No, she must not.
You're not an attorney, are you?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right. I know you guys came back here almost a year ago, right? For, when you first opened up for the signage, and I think we
right.
gave
We gave granted.
variance at that point. I mean, 100% variance is kind of, it's a little outlandish. I get it that maybe you need some privacy for patients or whatnot, but to cover all the windows completely with signage is, I think, a little drastic, but these are in place already?
So
from what I
they've been in
understand?
place, yes, they were in place prior to our grand opening, which was March 6th of last year. We didn't have an issue until I think about maybe a couple months ago that the town inspector came by. And the reasoning for the signage isn't just for advertisement, obviously, I know that's a concern as well, but it's our privacy. Our, our staff, as well as our patients coming in, they expect privacy coming to a medical facility, and in doing so with the signage, that is what we are guaranteeing our patients.
I mean, it's not outlandish, it's not in your face. Right, I'm looking at the picture right now, but I don't know. Let me hear what the board members have to say on it. Any opinions?
If that was for privacy, it could be blacked out with a film
Or
that
tint.
was- or tinted. That's the normal application. These are more like an advertisement.
I understand.
Scenario.
I understand where you're coming from, I do,
Just
and
asking.
yes, I understand you're saying so. Again, I know you're seeing it as advertisement, but we're seeing it as privacy again for our patients. We have a lot of walkthrough in our facility, whether it's in and out, it's across, a lot of people are going to Starbucks and all of that, so in order for us to guarantee, again, privacy of our patients, having more signage in front for that privacy would definitely guarantee that to our patients. We have plenty of emergencies.
You're not looking
but
into
you-
exam rooms, that's just a
yeah.
waiting room.
And
I
not
understand
only
that, but we have plenty of emergencies that do happen in our exam rooms. We've had plenty of medical emergencies where we are actively working on patients in that waiting room. It's not often, but it does happen. In the time that we've opened, we've probably had more than 10 in our waiting room.
But
We're-
again, you could get this done with tinting. You don't necessarily need the printing as well. And that's where my concern is as well. I think this is a little bit excessive. So, again, I'm only one board member, but 100% is 100%. And it's already self-created, it's already quite substantial, and there's other ways to address this means. I'm already knowing where my vote's going on this, so work with us and try to make this a little better.
I understand that. I would have to take this back to the owners, and obviously your consideration, we would appreciate the consideration.
If they tint the window, they would still need the variance. That's a
Tinting
good
still
point.
Tinting
Variance?
windows?
Why?
Not just a light tint that you can see through, but if they make it non-see-through, then yes, you have to get the variance.
Oh, if it's opaque.
If it's opaque,
But
but
if
that
it's a
doesn't help
window-
them because that doesn't fix their issue with the privacy. Right. Or HIPAA or whatever.
Not
they
to
have.
interrupt, but there is another 2 locations within the plaza that have full coverage.
Dennis hasn't gotten to me.
Yep, they're not in Carmel.
I'm sorry?
They're not in Carmel, right?
It's in the Putnam Plaza.
Oh, in Putnam Plaza?
Yes.
Then they'll be here soon if
They'll
they
be here
are.
soon.
Yeah.
Is it one that's moving now?
No,
Okay. There's one that's moving and I didn't know.
no.
And it's the same layout, the same
It's fully
characters
covered.
and people?
What are these signs made out of?
It's a vinyl.
Like wrap, you see on a van.
It's like a window tint, they stick it on and it's,
Yeah.
you get whatever graphic you like on there. Something to consider is the height, because it's full height, that you take the entire window pane up between the mullions. You have about 9 or 10 feet there. Maybe you want to look at bringing it down. I don't think anyone's going to jump up, and look in. So you bring it down to 6.5 or 7 feet. And that takes away a lot of percentage on all of those windows.
I understand that, and, again, that's a cost that's going to come to the facility as well.
Well, they should have considered that before they did it. Yep. To be honest with you. So I respect the fact that you're here representing them, but they should really come and represent themselves if they're going to be able to make the decision. So we can hold this over if needs be.
We might have to do that then. Again, if you're saying if the owners need to be here personally, I am the practice admin at the facility. That's why they did have me put in the application as well as come here tonight.
All right, but if you can't make a decision on their behalf, then they would need to be here to make any
Right. 'cause
sort
We're
of
trying to
we're-
work with you
We're looking
here.
for some give and take here.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to hold this over then?
Yeah, so we come
Yeah.
to a
Yeah.
solution, so we fix
Okay.
it, want to fix it.
All right,
Is anybody here for it?
yeah, anybody in the public wish to be heard on this application? Well, it's open. Okay, I'll look for a motion to hold this application over till next month.
So moved.
Do I have a
Sorry.
second?
Second.
Rose, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Keep my stuff organized here. All right, application number 5, Nicholas DeRosa for interpretation to return to original lot lines created in the subdivision 2242, 1934. Interpretation that the lot lines are legally recognized as building lots pursuant to 156-6-C3 and have not been legally merged, with Lot 1. Property is located at 50 Mount Hope Road, Mahopac, tax map 76.9-2-29. The code requires or allows Section 156-6C3 for the grandfathering of lots on an improved subdivision map. What's provided is the lots in question area maps on a filed subdivision map, and the variance required is an interpretation that the lots are legally recognized as building lots pursuant to 156-6C3 and have not been legally merged with Lot 1. That's a mouthful. Good evening.
Good evening.
Mr. Schilling, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are
Don't
you?
need to swear you in. Nick,
Is your
you going to be speaking at
client
all?
speaking or no?
You can be sworn in.
Let me swear you in case. State your name and address for the record, please.
Nicholas DeRosa, 50 Mount Hope Road.
All right, raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, Bill.
My name is William Schilling. Nicholas DeRosa is here this evening. His daughter Juliana is somewhere here. She has a vested interest in this. The property is 50
Bill,
Mount.
can you do me a favor, just speak
Yeah.
into the mic,
Yeah.
because,
We're not
again,
picking
for minutes.
Is that better?
Yeah,
Yeah,
closer
yes.
to better.
The property is 50 Mount Hope Road in Mahopac. The tax map is 76-9-29. We're talking about 2.5 lots on a filed subdivision map. The subdivision map was approved in 1934. It was map 234. The half lot is the result of predecessors long ago cutting a piece to the neighbor to the east. So we're talking about 2.5 lots. The first lot is 60 by 100, the second is 60 by 100, and the third is a 30 by 100. If you know the area, you know that the subdivision is almost completely developed, and it's developed on lots of similar size, a little bit bigger, some a little bit smaller. Our lot, of course, is the norm, but it's on 2.5 lots, not on one lot like some are on. We are seeking your interpretive powers of 156-51, and then its successor, which was just adopted, which give grandfathered rights to lots on a filed subdivision map. So we're seeking your interpretation that our application is on all fours with that statute. I have to advise you that this matter was before the board 40 years ago, and it was similar in nature. They were requiring a return to lot lines. We're requesting an interpretation. The parties were different and what have you, but the situation was fairly similar, and that was turned down by the zoning board, and the zoning board had some strange dicta in their decision, and I gave you a copy of the decision and the discussions regarding it. They thought they had to apply area variance standards because the lot that was ultimately going to be shaped was smaller than the lot that was that it had to be at the time of the statute. And I believe that was absolutely wrong. And the second thing they did is they said that the lot had merged, hence that it was denied because of the merger. And the crux of what we're asking today, the absolute crux, I can reduce it to one sentence, is merger does not occur to lots on a filed subdivision map. It's 156-51 stands for the proposition that if the lots were created by legal subdivision, filed in the county clerk's office, then they are grandfathered lots and not subject to a merger clause which arbitrarily takes adjoining lots and merges them together to make them more conforming to the code. So we are asking for an interpretation that 15651 and its successor, by the way, which is the exact language as that one, is not bound or subject to the merger clause, because merger usually involves substandard lots, and the idea is you put a substandard lot with one more conforming to create a more conforming lot. This is not the case here. Lots on a filed subdivision have their own strength, have their own entity, have their own vitality, and so we're convinced that even though it's not the same application, the application was wrong when it considered merger in its decision to decline. In support of our application, we sent a link survey, which you have. We submitted a statement of facts and conclusions of law. In that, we attached a copy of the decision from 1985, along with the discussion that was around the ultimate denial. So the lots in question, as I said, were created in 1934 as map 234. And as I told you, it's 2.5 lots on a filed subdivision map. And the approval process involves your interpretation that this was not bound or subject to the merger clause from the prior merger clause, which was in existence at the time. The development, as I told you, has become full. It's almost completely full, and the lots are all developed on one or two lots. We're talking about 2 lots. In 1985, Goodson, who was the predecessor in title, came and she made application to return to original lot lines. And again, the board opined that the variance was required, which I can't understand, and that merger had happened so that a return to original lot lines couldn't happen because they deemed the property had merged. And you'll see in the dicta of the decision, they started talking about practical difficulties and things that involve area variances, which were not there. The most important thing I can say to you right now is 15651 says that if you're a lot on a filed subdivision map and it was recorded in the county clerk's office, it's a viable building lot. And that is not only in 15651, but in the new section, which is 156.6C3. The code is very clear, the section is very clear that says that if a lot is created by subdivision, if it's recorded in the county clerk's office, it's a viable lot not to be merged by some other clause. The language itself says this: nothing contained therein shall require any change of plans where the final map has been filed with the Putnam County Clerk prior to the effective subsection date. So it's pretty clear. The lots that are created on a subdivision lot, and if the subdivision is recorded, have building potential, have grandfathered rights. And the error made 40 years ago was to say that, well, because the subdivision had adjoining lots, they adjoined them together and determined that they couldn't exist, couldn't get the relief they sought because they had been merged and were no longer the same configuration. And again, that interpretation or that decision is so at odds with 15651, which gives these lots viability. Merger should not be in effect on lots on a filed subdivision map. Merger usually occurs, as I said, when a substandard lot joins with another lot and it creates a more conforming lot conforming with the code. This is not the case here. These lots are already established as building lots. So their decision, I think, was clearly wrong. And as a result, but I wanted to bring it to your attention because we're seeking different relief. We're seeking relief per your interpretive of 15651. If the board believed that this had the the makings of a rehearing request. There are so many new facts that I don't even think I should have to go into them. 40 years have passed, and 3 acres to 1 acre. The reaffirmation of the code that says lots on a filed subdivision map are grandfathered. All those things are new facts which, if you decided to call it a rehearing based on new facts, clearly it would succeed. But again, we're seeking an interpretation, and the interpretation is simply this, that regardless of whatever happened, these are lots on a filed subdivision map, and pursuant to 15651 and 156.6C3, they're viable, they're building lots, they're not, even though they're not compliant with code, they're grandfathered. And the word grandfather actually is in the section, they're grandfathered rights. And so we would ask for that interpretation. Both code sections were exactly the same, that the lots were, if they were developed and put on a subdivision lot and filed in the clerk's office, then
Bill, is it one tax map now?
it is.
One lot.
Due to the merger, it is.
Because they're combined.
Maybe if I could show you, Bobby,
And
if you could
just
show.
clarify, well, are we talking about just this front piece? Because this was, I can't read it, even with
If you could
glasses
show
on.
them where the merged,
got to be
the
sworn.
merger
Yeah, are
result.
you,
We're looking at this.
all right, I need to swear you in if you're going to be speaking, please.
This is my nephew and my associate, Bob Schilling, who is a new member to our board.
Are you an attorney?
Has he passed the bar?
He's passed the bar.
So then-
He's waiting for admittance.
So we have to swear him.
I swear you in.
Yes.
Name and address for the record, please. Just speak clearly into the mic.
Robert Schilling, 1960 Route 6, Carmel, New York.
Swear- Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do, yes.
Thank you. Sorry.
Grab the mic.
Yeah, if you're going to be speaking.
If
just
you
pull that
want
off.
to just go over,
You want to talk about it?
sure. May I see that, Bob?
Bill, you're
Bring
going to
it.
need to speak in the mic too.
Yeah, I know. We'll bring it closer to you, but, okay.
You can take that mic off as
Take the
well.
mic off and come up.
Let me give you the mic. If you look at this map, you'll see the blue stars represent all the improved properties. So it's a sea of blue. They're all have houses on them, and the yellow indicates the lot size configuration. And you can see many of the lots are smaller than what we're proposing. And then this silly merger clause resulted in the very irregular shaped lot, which is,
All right, Bill, just clarify, is this part of these 2.5 lots?
yes,
So-
it's now
So it's
merged.
broken down, but
Yes.
do you show original lot lines within this
We do
larger
here.
parcel?
I don't know if that does.
Yeah, it
but-
does, it wasn't clear on here, that's why I'm asking.
So if you want to pass that over, Bobby.
Yeah, if you could, please.
So the map clearly shows that the subdivision is full, and the lots are almost all comprised of lots of that size or even smaller. So we're really seeking an interpretation of you that 156.51 and 156.C3 give these lots vitality and grandfathered building rights just by virtue of the fact that they're lots on a filed subdivision map. The interpretation is one that I think is fair and obvious by virtue of the code sections that we're talking about. I wanted to tell you that if you find conflicting between the merger and the clauses, you know about ambiguity, and you know about if two clauses are at odds with one another, there's ambiguity, and the ambiguity has got to be construed in favor of the landowner, and that's the law that I know you guys know already. So we're seeking an interpretation that by virtue of 156.51 and by virtue of 156.6C3, these
Bill,
lots.
just 1 second, Rob, if you could please turn that, this way the camera can pick it up, they can zoom in on it and show it to the public. Sorry to cut you off, Bill.
That's okay. These lots are grandfathered building lots, and we're looking for a return to lot lines, just as the person 45 years did. I want to also say, just as a matter of knowledge, my client is a lifelong Mahopac person. He looks to build a house for his daughter. He's not an investor looking to get whatever he can and leave. He's invested here in Mahopac. He's been here his whole life. And he lives right next door to what will be his daughter's house if you approve
I was
this.
just about to ask, there's one structure on there now?
There's one structure, and that's my client's home,
All right,
yes.
I think we, yeah,
And if you
Nick, you
look
came
at-
through it years ago.
Where is it exactly in the map? Is it on,
Yeah, I can show you.
Should be here. It's in the front, it's basically where this star is, again, right. It's in the front of the lot.
You guys should use a
Yeah,
microphone.
grab the mic.
Grab the mic.
Grab the
Grab the mic.
microphone.
Grab the microphone, nobody can hear you.
just so she can hear you?
You can take it with you.
Yes, it's essentially where this star is, in the front of the property by the number 2 here.
So it's in that lot A-ish on this map, okay. Does that, go ahead, Rose.
Bill, I read your memorandum, and the half lot is a half because part of the property went to a neighbor?
Yeah, my understanding, it was, I think sometime in the 40s, the driveway to the neighbor to the east was small, and they made a deal to transfer half of that lot to increase the access.
So that lot really isn't a viable lot.
It's going to be the access route for my client if you approve the application. So it's owned, the half lot is owned by my client, but it will be used as driveway, as access.
So you won't be building a house on it?
Correct.
Is
But
there
it's gonna be
proposed-
one lot in the end. The 2.5 lots will be one lot.
Oh, you're gonna have the two
Oh,
lots
sure.
become
Yeah,
one?
yeah. It's
Yeah,
all
and
one lot.
that's a
This is-
really good question. My client could ambitiously come here and look for more. We're just looking for one building, one house on those 2.5 lots.
Oh, that's a whole different
So
story.
they all get pushed together into one. So if he didn't have one full lot and he had 2 half lots, I would say there's no way he's not returning to a lot line. But he has 2 full lots and 1 half lot. That's why I think he should be able to. But
Right.
it's not for me to say, it's a board
Right,
decision.
right,
It's just,
right,
that's
yeah.
why it's here, because
That makes sense.
they went to the zoning board and got denied the first time, or whatever happened the first time. I don't know if it was an interpretation or whatever. That's why we're here.
But it's still part of the same lot.
It's part of the big lot, but it's 2.5 parcels making up a lot, correct?
If you grant the interpretation, the 2.5 lots will become separate again. The only reason they're showing as one is because the town merged it and made it this one big irregular lot.
So Bill,
Yeah.
what happens to the 2.5 then? They're all gonna stand alone?
No,
You're
it'll be,
merging 2.5 lots into one
The
lot.
2.5 lots become
yeah,
one
the
building lot.
2.5 lots become one building lot, correct.
No one's by itself. And then
So-
there's a, I guess there'd have to be an easement granted across that one lot to get the access to the
No,
other.
they're all gonna be merged together, it'll be one lot.
So it's just one lot, okay.
Yeah,
How-
it just happens to be the location of the driveway. It's not it's not the driveway because of it.
Understood,
It's
understood.
just a piece that's where he's putting the driveway. It's not required to
But
be
then you can
there.
have two
So this is-
dwellings on one lot.
No, he'll have one dwelling on each lot.
No. One,
There'll be one building on the 2.5 lots, and then there'll be the building that my client lives on down below.
the large parcel.
But the
Yes.
tax map will change to reflect the subdivision parameters way back when. That crazy lot there is the result of the merger. And, you know, I can't tell you how much I think that was an error. You can't merge lots on a filed subdivision map.
I don't disagree with that, Bill, but I'm looking at 120 half B, let's call it, 121 and 122. I mean, that's gonna become one lot, but doesn't that have to go to planning because now he's merging?
It already went to planning. No, merging, you don't have to go to planning.
Merging have to go to planning.
So if I own 10 different
Gotcha.
lots, I can merge them together and
Gotcha.
make
All
one
right.
big one and put a septic and a house
Gotcha.
and everything
All
else
right,
on
all
there,
right.
by deed.
Yeah,
So you're
okay.
saying the town merged everything, or the previous owner
Well,
did?
by virtue of them having a merger clause, I'm not sure what made it happen, but yeah, I believe the zoning board's, zoning board action at the time resulted in the merger, or.
You're talking about the interpretation 1985?
Yeah, because if you look at it, at the tax map shortly before, it was configured as it is before, but just after the zoning board decision, they changed it to be that big lot with my client's house at the bottom.
And which year was that, 85?
85.
Yeah, this
Mike,
is-
did the zone change with the new adopted zoning code?
It did, but it doesn't affect a filed map that's already filed.
Okay.
And the language of the new map, when it's enacted, is exactly the same as the language of 151. What is it, 120?
Yeah, it's still grandfathers, anything
156,
that's on the
51.
filed map, sorry,
Yeah.
Bill.
All right.
You bring us good stuff, Bill.
Claudine, anything?
No.
Johnny?
No, I'm just saying, those lots, is there a lot of vegetation on there and trees, or is it? There's a lot there.
It's a little hilly too in the
Yeah.
back, right, as it goes up. That's
He's
actually
gonna have to
part of
meet all the
Mount
requirements.
Hope.
The setbacks and everything else.
Setbacks, driveway
Otherwise, we'll be here
slope,
again.
septic slope, all the different things that are required.
Okay. Yeah. I have no questions.
Rose, you good?
I just want to know, what is the process you're going to take to merge these 2.5 lots together?
Well, what I would propose to do is do a confirmatory deed in which he transfers to himself the lot that he currently lives in, and then he transfers to whoever the 2.5 lots. It'll be by meets and bounds description. So it'll be exactly the way the subdivision was created way back when, because the merger again created this crazy lot, and we're going to do a confirmatory deed which would bring it back to its original configuration.
And they'll be required to get a survey showing me the same thing, for both, for the original
Yeah,
lot
both
and the new,
areas, right.
showing that they're
Yeah.
separate now.
Yeah.
So would we be conditioning it that?
No conditions on an
No, it's
interpretation.
interpretation.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interpretation.
All right, you guys?
No, nice.
All right, at this point, does anybody in the public wish to speak on this application? All right, I'll look for a motion to close this hearing.
So moved.
Second. Second. Julie, all in favor?
Aye.
All
Aye.
right, guys, thank you.
Thank you very much. Good night.
All right, next application is for Christopher Poljak for variation of section 156-9, seeking a variance to build a detached garage. The property is located at 19 Kings Ridge Road, Mahopac, tax map 76.14-1-43. The code requires or allows 15 foot to the side. What's being provided or sought is 6 feet, so hence a variance of 9 feet would be required. Good evening. State your name and address for the record.
Christopher Poljak, 19 Kings Ridge Road, Mahopac, New York.
All right, raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, bring us in through this. Your garage is not there, right? You want
No.
to build something?
Yeah, but we have a garage in the house, but it's not very practical, so we're looking to put it detached, a little easier to pull into.
Oh, it's built into underside of the house, right? If I
Yes,
recall?
the
Yeah,
original
I was up
garage,
there
yep.
Last month. You talked to all your neighbors?
Yep, they're all.
She's got letters.
they support it.
Yeah, that's right. You had a lot of letters here from them. There's no property you can buy to bring it into conformance. You got a hill down behind you and landlocked either side. Yeah, it's not too extreme of a variance, right? It's a little over half, but I think I saw some drawings in here, right? You
Yeah,
can
there are.
make it match the house somewhat,
Yes, sir, yep.
so it wouldn't be out of character. There it is.
Yes, it's,
Oh, you're actually kind of detaching it, right? Or,
It'll be detached, yep.
and you're building a
Oh,
little
you're building
walkway to
a-
get
I was
over.
thinking of a breezeway that would connect to the deck, make it a little easier to access the house from inside the garage.
so is that going to be habitable up there, or is that like a workshop or something?
It'll just be storage. It's gonna,
All right, no plumbing, right?
no.
You'll have electrical, I'm sure, for the garage.
course.
itself, but, yeah. Yeah, it looks like Brady Bunch kind of design. I like it. All right, Julie, any questions?
No.
Jill?
No.
Rose?
I was out there, I happen to know that neighborhood, and I know the spectacular views
Oh my
that
gosh,
come
yeah.
from there.
The lake.
And my concern was the person across the street, 20, that he was losing his view. But I'm happy to see that you have a letter from Larry Feiner at 20 Kings Ridge Road, who is okay with you putting garage in, so.
I don't think those houses can actually see. You have to be closer to,
Well,
like,
on
the
the
front of
second
his house.
floor.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
In between the two houses, you have a little bit of a view.
Well, if he wrote a letter of support, I don't think he's
Yes,
worried about it.
so it's not a problem.
No
right.
questions, John.
Good, Claudine?
No questions.
All right, anybody in the public wish to speak on this application? All right, I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Seconded by Claudine, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, sir, good luck. All right, moving right along, application number 7 for Nancy Bell for variation of section 156-25, seeking a variance to install ground-mounted solar for personal residence. Property is located at 27 Englewood Terrace, Mahopac, tax map 76.19-1-46. The code requires or allows that solar be mounted on the rooftop. What's being sought is ground mounting, so that's the variance they're seeking. And then there's a side yard setback. The code requires 20 feet side yard. What's provided is 5 feet, so a variance of 15 feet is being sought. Good evening.
Good evening.
You guys both going to speak? Yeah.
Yes.
All right, state your names and address for the record, please.
Nancy Bell, 27 Englewood Terrace, Mahopac.
Keith Bell, 27 Englewood Terrace, Mahopac.
Keith, you can turn that down so you can both speak separately. All right, raise your right hands. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
I do.
All right, so it's not feasible to go on the roof, I think, when I met you out there, because you don't have the southern facing views that you need.
Yeah, the
correct?
ridge line's north-south, so we don't get good southern exposure.
And then your property kind of tapers up to where you're gonna mount this, so it's getting more maximum view of the sun. Just in case you guys weren't out there, I saw it. You know, and the reason why he needs that 5 feet is because, again, to maximize that. But there's a huge fence between the two neighbors, so you're not even gonna see the solar panels. But I'll ask the same questions. Can you buy any property to bring this into conformance? No, because you're landlocked over there,
Yep.
right, to the right side.
And my two closest neighbors, I have letters from the two closest neighbors.
Okay, so that's the immediate neighbor, right? I think we got these ahead of time.
Oh, did they?
Did
Okay.
you email these? Oh,
The one most affected on the right side?
you want to screen it real quick?
Yes, it's
Silvio?
Phil Descala, yeah.
The code in pre-March 23rd of this year, you were allowed to put them on the ground. Now you're not, so that's why.
Oh, okay. First letter is Peter Vukash, 512 Union Valley Road, writing to support, I don't need to read the whole thing. Second one is Phil Descala, also same thing, writing to express their support. Phil Descala is at 27 Englewood, Mr. Vukash is at 20, oh no, sorry, that's it. One is 512 Union Valley, the other is
35 Englewood.
35 Englewood. Okay, thank you.
I'll submit those in the
Yeah, put it in the
folder.
folder.
Rose, could you put them in the orange folder? All right, what's the maximum height? Are these gonna move, or are they affixed?
They are on a tilting panel, and they don't go any more than 4.5 feet high.
So they move to
follow
follow
the
the
sun?
radius of the sun.
Yeah, well, in the summertime, you want them at a different angle than winter,
And what's the maximum height?
4.5 feet.
And that fence that's to the right, I think is
6
6 feet, so at least that neighbor's not gonna see it. I think you're pretty well screened from the neighbors in the back and all that too, if I recall the property correctly.
Yeah.
So it's not really gonna encumber anybody's view. I think you're well screened and treed on your opposite side. Right, there's a buffer of woods there as well.
Yeah.
All right, board members, go on.
No questions.
Does that have a feature in there to move with the sun, or is
It's
it, you
a
have to do
manual
it
thing.
manual?
Yeah,
You have to do manually.
yeah, I'm too cheap to get the automatic.
Yeah. What does it put out, like in kilowatts?
Well, there's 14 500-watt panels. Maximum output is 7 kW, but I'm looking, because it's along the, I'm gonna get shading, I'm probably be about half of that any given day, as the day goes on.
So you must be retired then, huh?
I hang around.
No
Any
questions.
battery storage?
No, I'm gonna connect it to our auto transfer switch we have now for the generator.
I normally wouldn't be excited about having somebody have solar panels 5 feet from a property line. The thing is that you have a fence there, so the people next door won't see it. If we had you move it to the middle of the property or somewhere else, they would see it. But
Yeah.
here, they're not gonna be able to see.
So I mean, it's actually well screened from the fence.
Right,
It would actually be worse if it was the 20 feet.
right, if we had you move it to the middle of the
Right.
property.
But again, the property tapers up, right? So you're maximizing the potential from the sun
True.
that you're gonna get, so.
That was good. I got nothing.
You got a question? Speak out loud, come on. All right, any input from the public on this application? Anybody wish to be heard? Okay, I'll look for a motion to close this hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Phillips.
All right, application number 8, Danny Phillips for variation of section 156-9, seeking a variance to retain a gazebo. The property is located at 14 Sherrill Lane, Mahopac, tax map 65.15-2-43. The code requires or allows a side yard setback of 15 feet. What's provided is 10 feet, so a variance of 5 feet is being sought. Mr. Greenberg, good evening. State your name and address for the record, please.
Joel Greenberg, 2 Musket Road, North Mahopac, New York.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Absolutely.
Thank you,
I
sir.
do.
Bring us through your case.
Very good. Well, first of all, normally your first question is, have you spoken to the neighbors? So I have a letter.
Bring it on, Joel.
Thank you, sir.
This
Well, it's
is.
short and sweet, so you can.
Yeah, I like that. Dear Chairman and board members, we live adjacent to the Phillips at 14 Sherrill Lane in Mahopac and have no objection to granting side yard variance for the existing gazebo. Linda and Al Silbert, 16 Sherrill Lane, both signatures there. I'll put it in the folder.
Also, Mr. Chairman, I have, if you haven't seen it, I have pictures of it. Want me
Yeah,
to
we
hand-
have them in the package.
You have them?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That's cute.
Usually, we don't like structures like this in the front yard traditionally on this board, but I have to tell you, the way this property is and the way it's naturally landscaped and tapers up, it's almost natural and inherent
Exactly.
for a gazebo to be
When
there.
when I first was approached by the client, I went there too, and I felt the same way, because if you remember the property, it's elevated over the road, number one, and number two, it slopes
Right.
up toward the house, and the gazebo is almost like it was there forever.
Like it's a pediment, you know, if that's any term I can think of. But, I mean, and it's well-built, it's not like out of character. It's my opinion, just throwing it out there, if you guys got a chance to look at it. But, Joel, there's no property they can buy to bring
No,
into
there are
performance?
houses on both sides.
And how long has it been there, do we know?
How long has it been? Between 4 and 5 years.
Okay. You
It
didn't
looked
realize you
relatively
needed,
newer.
yeah, didn't realize you needed a permit or a variance.
Was that 4 or 5 or 45?
4 or 5.
Just so, no, for Dawn. So when she
Oh,
goes-
sorry.
4 or 5.
4
for
or
Dawn.
5, yes, I'm sorry.
4 or 5 years.
No, you're right, you're right.
Is it 405? All right, so that's my 2 cents. Claudine, John,
No questions.
It's very pretty.
No.
Very cute.
all right, any other neighbors? Obviously, they'd be here well, I'll open it up to the public. Anybody have any comments or questions on this application? So if they did have, they'd be here, right?
Thank you very much.
I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Seconded by Claudine.
No, she.
Moved by Claudine, seconded by
We'll
give it
to
to
Silvio.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank
One
you.
more
Joel.
thing, enjoy your Memorial Day weekend, and
You too,
hopefully the
Joe.
weather will change for the best.
All right, number 9, Oliva Family Irrevocable Trust for variation of section 156-9, seeking a variance to retain an already existing shed. Property is located at 43 Pine Lane, Mahopac, tax map 54.5-1-36. Code requires or allows 10 feet on the side. What's provided is 2 feet, so a variance of 8 feet is being sought. Good evening, you both going to speak?
Should we?
Clearly and distinctly into the microphone, please.
Okay.
State your names and address for the record.
Louis Oliva, 43 Pine Lane, Mahopac, New York.
Ma'am?
Ann Oliva, 43 Pine Lane, Mahopac, New York.
All right, raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, how long has the shed been there for?
Since 35 years.
35 years. You built it yourself?
No, it's one of those,
Prefabs?
it was initially a metal shed, and it just rotted out, and when I bought the house, we took that down, and got one of those sheds from Michael Dill's Best, and just put it on there.
Replaced it, okay.
The shed was there, though, an existing shed.
There was an
when we
existing
bought
shed
our
there.
home.
It was on the survey when
All right, so
when we
how
bought
long
the
ago did
house.
you rebuild, or is this newer one here?
Excuse me?
How long is the newer
Oh,
one?
the new one's been there like 32,
Oh,
33
so that
years.
time, okay.
They said Dill's Best, it's been a while.
Yeah.
It was in Baldwin Place where we got it, that's how long ago it was.
All right, I mean, I'll say the same thing, it's kind of tucked in the corner, but you got some screening around there, some larger trees.
Tree.
You talked to your neighbors on that side?
Yes,
Yes.
No issues,
no issues.
concerns, otherwise they'd be here. There's no property you can buy to bring it into conformance, correct? You're landlocked there. What's the value of the shed if you had to move it? What would that cost you? Just ballpark me.
I have no idea.
$1,000, a couple $1,000?
And it's all trees in the back there too. To move it would, I mean, it's never been a problem for anybody.
Just establishing a record here. It's just,
I wouldn't know how much it would cost to move.
More than the value of the shed.
Probably.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
just like the previous
definitely.
applicant. Okay. 1 million. Let's start down here. Julie, any questions or comments?
No.
No,
Silvio?
I had nothing tonight.
John?
No questions.
Melody? All right, any input from the public on this application? Anyone wish to be heard on this gorgeous shed? All right, I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck. All right, now, application number 10, Christopher Pike, for variation of section 156-19A1A. Sounds like a steak sauce, for a variance to retain 6-foot side fence in front yard. The property is located at 217 Lake Shore Drive, Mahopac, tax map 74.26-2-53. Code requires or allows 4-foot front. What's provided is a 6-foot front, and a variance required of 2 feet. Okay, good evening.
Hi, good evening, sir.
State your name and address.
My name is Christopher Pike. I live at 217 Lakeshore Drive, Mahopac, New York.
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
So help me God.
All right, how long has it been there for?
Well, this is actually the second.
Just speak into the mic,
I'm
please.
sorry. This is actually the second fence. I had a wooden fence there before. The reason why we always have a lot of poison ivy.
You know what, I didn't get a chance to look at this, I Google Earthed it, and it was brown in one picture, and then another picture, it was white. Was it brown prior?
No, well, now it's a white fence, but years ago, it used to be a brown fence.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, maybe Google.
Yeah, it was
Earth-
wood. It was wood. Then we went to vinyl because the wood got ripped apart by the
freaking me
poison
out.
ivy and everything behind it. So we really have it up just to keep the poison out. Both me, my wife, and my kids are very allergic to poison ivy.
All right, well, I kind of figured, because that's like an easement, a drainage
Yes,
easement of
sir.
some sort?
Yes,
that's
sir.
way overgrown?
Yeah, and the town comes and tries to take care of the front part of it as much as possible, but they don't get all the way
Yeah,
down. or anything like that.
it looks hideous from Google Earth, from that aspect. So, you know, each case is judged on its own merits, and that's one reason I would see how this thing is okay in my book, but I'll open up to board members to see what they think.
Okay.
So everyone knows the code is the front of the house, from the front of the house back can be 6 feet, from the front line of the house towards the street must be no bigger than 4. But it's not like the whole property is being surrounded.
Right, it's not the
just
front. If it was
an
the
element
front,
on the left side that's hiding this.
You see the pictures of all the stuff behind it.
I'm backing up to no,
And there's
it's
even
not
a
on
no
any
trespass.
neighbors.
It's not like I could even go back there and cut it. There's a no trespassing sign there.
Right.
So-
Right.
Right. And the other thing too, John, just to keep into account here, the driveway's far enough away that it's not impeding anybody's sight.
Yeah,
lines leaving
exactly.
the
No,
driveway.
and the other side is it's owned by someone, it's owned by a neighbor up the block, but it's an empty lot. I don't think to be built on,
Right,
if I'm correct.
right, but I was just more concerned about, because sometimes the fence will impede your vision as you're pulling out
Oh,
of the driveway.
yeah, no.
You're so far away from it, it's not
Yeah,
an
no,
issue.
never.
No, okay.
So, your neighbors, everyone, you talked to everybody over there?
Yeah, pretty much. Nobody, a couple of them were supposed to show up, and they never did. So, but no, everyone has no problem.
Okay. And I'll ask you the same question. If you had to take this down and bring it into conformance, what would it cost to do that? Campanella fence, I saw their signs, and I know they're not cheap.
Yeah,
so.
Campanella's not cheap. Even though I've given them a ton of business, they're not cheap. And I haven't even looked into how much it'd be to take it down, because I didn't think
Just give me a ballpark.
3,000.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Well, that's on the light side for Campanella. I'm kidding, I grew up with them, so I know, but, all right, you guys good here? Any questions, comments?
No questions.
All right, any input from the public on this application? All right, I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
You guys got to stop doing this to me. One
Well,
person, come on.
we're both pausing.
Go ahead.
All right, Silvio?
Go ahead. It's
So
yours.
moved.
And Rose seconds it. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you as well.
Happy Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day.
All right, and last application this evening is for Veolia Water New York, North America, Archer Wells 1 and 2, for variation of section 156, attach 1 and 280A for variance to upgrade the existing Archer Wells 1 and 2 site. Property is located at 9 Colton Road, Mahopac, and it's tax map 85.12-1-8. Hold on, let me read these, stay in fashion. So code requires or allows minimum lot area of 120,000 square feet. What's provided is 19,754 square feet. So a variance of 246 square feet is required. And then the code requires a minimum street frontage on the town road of 100 feet for 280A. And what's existing is 0 feet. And then, so a 100-foot variance is being sought.
Correct.
Good evening. Are you an attorney?
I am.
All right, so I don't need to swear you in. Ma'am, you going to be speaking?
Yes.
All right, state your name and address for, are you an attorney? Sorry.
No, I'm the planner for the applicant.
Okay, state your
Ramya
name.
Ramanathan, planner from Adzel Nasher Ziegler, representing Veolia, New York.
Okay, raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, sir. State your name, but also just so.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Michael Starvaggi. I'm with Blakely, Platt, and Schmidt. We are at 1 Blue Hill Plaza, Pearl River, New York, 10965. This is an application by Veolia Water New York, which, as you know, is a utility and it's related to the construction of a permanent granular activated carbon, or GAC, water treatment facility at 9 Colton Road. This project is necessary for the treatment of local drinking water to reduce PFAS or PFAS contaminants in order to comply with the New York State Department of Health regulations. As you stated, Mr. Chairman, we're seeking 3 variances: a lot size area variance, a road frontage area variance, and a Section 280A variance for access via a permanent easement, which was acquired by my client as a utility by means of eminent domain. We did provide a brief analysis of the 267B3 factors in our cover letter, but I would just like to point out a couple of quick points. It's not really a self-created hardship, since the construction of this permanent facility is mandated by state regulations. There are really no, it's kind of a tucked away area, so it's not, there's no disturbance to, there's no significant disturbance to any neighbors. But most notably and most importantly, this is a matter of public health and safety, and we believe that that's an overriding, factor that weighs heavily, with respect to all five.
Makes your presentation any easier. We've had numerous situations like this with Suez.
Okay.
Water coming through, so we understand the need for it.
And they're the same company. Suez became Veolia, correct?
Correct.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, Suez,
I was not aware.
Veolia is a successor to Suez.
Okay.
And this is
Yeah.
our 5th project.
Right. And, and we have representatives of, from the engineering firm and from the client here, and I'll turn it over to.
Sure.
So it's basically the same exact thing, the same thing as last time. They're a public utility and all that stuff, so they'll give you their.
So, I mean, I know you like to speak, but we get the
Yeah.
reason for it, because we've experienced it at least 3 or 4 times since I've,
Four.
four times since I've been on the
Yeah.
board.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, I won't take up any
No.
more of your time.
Go ahead if you
Not
want.
much to add to that, like the attorney suggested. It's a circular site, which is atypical, and it's tucked away. This is Archer Road, that's Colton Road. The eminent domain access was taken from Archer Road, which was the historic access, which was informal, but
It's well screened,
it's
it's
been-
tucked
yes.
behind all the houses, you know, building what you need to do to accommodate the equipment that you must
Yeah.
to get the water safer. We're all for it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, I don't think you even need screening around the property. I know it's just like a Butler type of building. Normally, if this was a little more exposed to the road, we would want to see, and the planning board would probably work with you, something a little more residential taste. I get it, it's more economical for a Butler-type building.
Right.
So, but I don't have a problem with it because of where it is and how far back it is. I don't think
Right.
any of the board members would as well. So,
It's just a little confusion. When I went on to Colton, obviously I couldn't find it. I went on to Archer, and I could find it. And it was set back. There was actually a road on Archer. I was wondering, you really don't need a 0 on Colton. You're accessing it from Archer.
correct.
So while it says Colton here,
The address is officially 9 Colton Road. We went back and forth on this, and we spoke to Veolia's attorneys as well, is that now that they have official access from Archer, would the address be from Archer? But the attorneys deduced that they're in the process of merging their property with the county property, so at the end of the day, they will have access from Colton Road, so that address is still valid,
so they're going to cut through in between those two houses?
Maria, do you want to?
We'll have to swear.
yep.
They don't own the access easement.
Right.
All right, state your name and address for the record, please.
Maria Stepanova, I'm Viola Water, New York, engineer, and as
Hold on,
Rami has
hold on,
stated.
hold on. Raise your right hand.
Oh, sorry.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you.
So our property was landlocked. We only had footpath between the two houses and had to bring chemicals up and down every day or every other day. So, but anything meaningful construction-wise, we had to have access. The historic access was cut off when the ownership changed, and the previous owner was okay with us. You know, like obviously there's a well facility constructed at some point in the past. Then through the process of eminent domain, we gained the access to the current property. But meanwhile, there was also potential easement, and that was a way back in the planning that there could have been access through this side. So this is the footpath. This would have been the access. So we actually bought it from the county. There's a whole thing with the county legal, and I'm not gonna even, it's still going, needs to be finalized. We purchased it, but it needs to be finalized and filed. This would be much more expensive and less accessible because it's overgrown, it's woods. This resident put part of his little parking area in there, so like it wouldn't be our preferred. Preferred would be easy, historic, flat access through Archer. But the address for now stays the same until we merge with this parcel. And so administratively, we decided that, and we consulted with Viola and attorney, that for now, that's the address. If there's any change of address, we'll obviously notify everybody.
Okay, that's not a problem, Greg, right? It'll all be
No, I'll give
filed.
you the address once we,
Yeah, once it's
once
filed.
everything's done.
Right.
Okay. All right, you guys have any more questions? Claudine? No. John?
I just want to, out of curiosity, do you know what the lab results were on the water that needs the plant in the PFAS in the water? You
Yes,
know,
the
when it
highest
came
levels
in?
were 15 and 18. It was once, but it was over 10 in the raw water, and the compliance standard for New York is 10.
That's right, yeah. Parts per
So
trillion.
it's
so that
not,
stuff
it's
wasn't
not
that bad.
truly contaminated,
Yes.
but you know, but it's above the New York MCL, so therefore that's the whole reason to build the facility.
You guys good? Yeah. Here? All right, is there any input from the public on this application? All right, I'll look for one person to make a motion to close this hearing.
8004. All right, fine, I'll make a motion, to close the public hearing.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, folks. Good luck. Thanks for upgrading your systems for the constituents. All right, at this point, there's no public input on any application. Please keep that in mind as we adjudicate. So number 1 was held over, Centennial. Application number 2, Lugo, I'll look for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Application number 3, McMillan, looking for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Silvio, second.
Second.
By Julie. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Granted. All right. Application number 4 for AFC was held over. Application number 5, Nicholas DeRosa, look for a motion.
Motion to grant the interpretation that the lots are legally recognized as building lots pursuant to 156-6-C3 and have not been legally merged with Lot 1.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion?
Greg?
No,
Did I
no,
say it right?
no, I was listening to your motion. It's great.
Because I read the words.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that's granted. Application for, number 6, Poljak.
Motion to grant with the condition that there'll be no plumbing in the garage.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Granted. All right, application number 7, Nancy Bell.
Motion to
Look for a
grant.
motion.
Oops, sorry.
Go
Motion to
ahead,
grant.
Silvio. Second it?
Second.
By Julie, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, number 8, Danny Phillips, look for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Second.
Second by Rose. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Granted. Number 9, Oliva Family Irrevocable Trust, say that 5 times, look for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Second.
Second, any discussion on this one? All in favor?
Aye.
Application number 10, Christopher Pike, I'm looking for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Do I have a second?
Second.
By Rose, she beat you, Julie. Any discussion on this one? All in favor?
Aye.
And finally, number 11, Veolia Water, New York, North America, Archer Wells 1 and 2, looking for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Second.
Julie, any discussion on this one? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, minutes. Few months of minutes here.
Yeah.
Look for a motion on January 30th, acceptance of those minutes, 2025.
Motion to accept.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, minutes from February 27th, 2025. Look for a motion to accept.
Motion to accept. Second.
Second by Julie, all in favor?
Aye.
And look, motion to accept the minutes for March 27th, 2025.
Motion to accept.
Do I have a second?
Second.
By Julie, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion, well, before we adjourn, wish everyone a happy Memorial Day, and thank you all for being here. Let's not forget our service people out there, even in the world today, defending our country, and let's give thanks to all the vets and those who've passed to give us our freedoms here. So I'll look for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night,
Thank you
everybody.
all, have a good
Thank you,
night.
Chairman.